Hey guys, what's good? What's happening? And what's going on? What is going on? I can tell you one thing that's going on is the weather is getting forever nicer out. Look at it. It's nice out. Look at the snowbank in my neighbor's yard. Like it's going down. Even the snow in my backyard is going down, and I appreciate that big time. It's currently -1 out right now according to my computer. But then according to the weather network, it's +3. So let's just say it's +1. We'll meet in the middle. Sounds like a plan. Now, the screwed up thing about this weather is this coming weekend, where there's supposed to be a Pride ski thing coming up, basically where they're doing a joint group thing at the Mount Antoine ski hill in Mattawa, where Pride will be putting on a show and people are going to be skiing, and I was hired on to film. However, if the weather keeps up the way it is, it's going to be more like mud surfing than skiing. Now, to be fair, I have no problems filming people sliding down a mud hill and eating shit. That's perfectly okay in my books. Probably not for them, but I'm in it for me, not them. And let's face it, people crashing on a ski hill, that's ratings. Just 1 second, guys. I'm just going to clean off the lens a bit. A little bit of Dawn dish soap and a wet paper towel. Works pretty good on sunglasses. I'm assuming the same will apply to take fingerprints off of a camera lens. Let's give that a go. Telling you, man, Dawn dish soap works wonders on everything. Hell, you can even do your dishes with it. Pretty sweet. Speaking of which, I gotta do my damn dishes. Oh, I got a streak on the lens still, or do I? No, that's just some bloom effect because this camera thinks it's a Microsoft Xbox. But anyway, so I'm not sure how that's gonna plan out this weekend, but I'm supposed to bring the drone and I'm supposed to bring my camera gear and do some filming and shoot some stuff and other things and make a video out of it, but there's no skiing. I guess it won't be too bad. It won't be too bad, but I don't know what to expect. Still got to talk to my parents and see if they can come over during Saturday. Let Oreo out a couple times because I don't know how late the frig I'm going to be there. And yeah, super fun, happy times, but whatever. So another thing I got to do is, as you all know, I want to start making my own baits. Probably not for resale right away. I want to get the, I was chatting with a buddy who does it through the 3D printer. And I talked to him about a dilemma. That dilemma is, see, the material that you print with is called PLA. You can also use ABS, and there's another material called PEG, I think. I can't remember now. Or is it GEP? Anyway, it's another form of plastic. Problem is they all have a melting point. PLA is good for up to 320 degrees. ABS is good for up to 330. PEG is like 305 or some shit like that. And when you're pouring plastisol into the mold, the plastisol is heated to 350 degrees. So it's like 40 degrees higher. This is Fahrenheit, by the way. 40 degrees higher than the melting point of like PLA material. So my buddy uses PLA and he said, listen, just when you make your molds, don't get greedy. If you're going to make a Senko mold or a stick bait mold, don't worry about having like 10 stick baits side by side. He goes, if you have to do 8 or 6 to keep the sidewalls up, because that's what breaks, is some people will, like, if you look at the aluminum mold you can buy, usually there's 10 per mold. And the sidewalls between the worms are really, really small, really thin. So they can maximize the amount of pourable molds, or I guess shootable molds, and lower the amount of, like, basically you can make more worms. Like, you buy a bag of Senkos at the store, you get like 10, like, there's probably 10 units in here. They don't have a count on the bag, but there's probably 10 units in here. And that was probably shot in one shot. And then they bag it and tag it and send it out for redistributing. So he told me, like, he made the mistake. He made a bunch of runs that turned out bad. He tried to use less PLA material to basically, save on material, and it ended up costing him more because he ended up having to do the mold a couple times and increase the density of the PLA. And then he went back into fusion, which is something else I got to learn. And then he revamped it. So he, instead of having like 10 stick baits, he did 6, and he had thick walls in between them so that when he did his runs, it wouldn't melt the sidewalls and breach and then end up with 2 worms that are joined together. So it's stuff like this that you got to think about and I watched a bunch of YouTube videos on other people pressing and making pressable molds or shootable molds. And they all said the same thing. If you're using PLA, be generous with your sidewalls and go as thick as your machine will let you go. Now, I did manage to find a couple people who are using the same 3D printer that I'm going to order, the Ender Pro, or the Ender version, or Ender 3 version 2. The reason why I'm going with that one there is everybody I talked to said they wish they would have bought that one first, because that printer is probably the best printer on the market for the price value, unless you want to get super expensive and go up. Now, one guy I watched said, get a resin printer. The reason being is a resin printer, resin has a melt point of 380 degrees, which is 30 degrees above. However, I went and priced out resin printers, and guys, cheapest one I could find was kind of bunk. It doesn't have that big of a printable bed and wouldn't do the job. So for what I want, it would be a $1,200 printer. So I think I'm going to risk it for a biscuit and just go with PLA. And we're going to see if we can get our molds. But there is a couple aluminum molds that I want to pick up from, I can't remember the name of the place, but Marling Bates works with the guy all the time. And he's got some pretty interesting molds that I would like to make. Now, like I said, it's not really for resale. It's more or less for my own use for now. But if the market picks up and people are interested, maybe I will make for resale. You never know. Right now, it's just a hobby. Like I started making baits, last year, the year before? Just some stupid crankbaits out of wood, and I made them work. And I had fun doing it. So why not make fishing more of a interesting hobby? And this right here, this pack right here is like 10 bucks in the store. So if you think about it, Plastisol, you can get like a gallon of Plastisol for like 40 bucks. This is maybe a 2 ounce, maybe 2 ounces worth of Plastisol. You can make a lot of friggin' plastics with a gallon of Plastisol. You can color them how you want, flavor them how you want, send them out. If you run out, make some more. You don't need to go to Canadian Tire or to your local outfitter and buy some more. You can just press your own. Pretty sweet, right? And also with 3D printing your own molds, you can like mess around in Fusion and come up with new stick bait ideas. Like instead of going with the traditional style, I'm going to open these because I'm really curious if they have a smell. Nope, they just smell like rubber. Like the traditional style is this. It's hard to see on camera, but you can see like it's ribbed over here and then it has a flat spot and then it's ribbed. Normally, if you're going to Texas hook these, you come through the face and then your hook's going to come through this flat spot and then rest in there so that when the fish bites it, it pushes down on the hook and then you can set the hook and you can really get them. These have some pretty good durability to them though. There's a lot of bubbles in them. They really didn't... Oh no, that's not bubbles, that's flake. But like these stick baits here, hey, if I can catch a fish on a Dollarama stick bait, I'll have no problems with this. They don't mention what color this is though, eh? Normally I go with green pumpkin around here because that's what works. In case you haven't realized, I'm super stoked to get the bait shop operational. But I got to get the car out of there first. Yeah, there's no mention of what color these are. I couldn't even tell you. Oh, there we go. Oh, it's watermelon. Okay, I can work with watermelon. I've worked with watermelon before. It's that flake that's throwing me off, but that should look pretty juice in the water when it's flicking around, catching the sunlight. It should attract a fish, I'm hoping. But I don't want to just go bass fishing this year. I want to come up with a lure that'll work well against walleye come nighttime. So I need something flashy and vibrant and that makes a lot of noise underwater. And I got a couple ideas for that too. Yeah, all this bait shop talk. Nobody cares about this, right? But like I said, there's a program I need to learn, and that's Fusion 360. Basically with that, you can make anything that you want. Any 3D printable item that you want, like the battery cover for my exercise bike, because I want to fix that because I hate when I'm riding the bike and then all of a sudden it's because I'm moving and stuff, the battery falls out and the bike resets. Like it wouldn't be such a big deal if it kept the tension because I don't care about what the computer says. It can't calculate my calories because it doesn't know how much I weigh, what my muscle mass is. It has no information. The Fitbit doesn't really have that kind of information either because it can only pull data based on my age from the app, what I last weighed in at, and my heart rate. That's all I can pull. So its calories are a bit more accurate than on the bike, but the bike is way off. The problem is the moment the battery disconnects, the system resets the tension to 0. And when the system resets the tension to 0, it's like you're pedaling uphill and all of a sudden it just levels off. The exercise programs on it are pretty cool too, and I'd like to do those, but I can't have the battery disconnecting mid-exercise program because it'll actually do hill climbs for you. Like it'll show you on the graph, like you're on level, and then all of a sudden it'll show you going up a hill and then it'll level off, and it'll change the tension based on what it is. And when you're going downhill, it's obviously 0 tension. When you're on a flat plane, it's obviously zero tension, but as the plane increases or decreases the grade, it'll let you know that it's going to increase or decrease the tension. And I really like that. I think that's pretty cool. And I tried it the one day and I was having a great time with it until the battery fell out and then everything reset. And I was like, son of a bitch. So that's why I haven't been riding the bike too much, is because I really need a battery cover for the back of it. I looked it up online to see if they sold battery covers and they don't. So next best thing is to build one in Fusion, print it, and go from there. And I watched a bunch of videos and tutorials on Fusion, and what's really cool is you can take a picture with your camera, like your cell phone, and then import it into the canvas. Here we go. So you can import it into the canvas and then you can align it and then draw out your sketch and then match it to your specifications based off the diameters and the dimensions of the actual real thing. And then send it to the printer, print it off, and then try it on for size. And if it works, cool. If not, well, carve it to fit and then you're good to go. This is the reason why, like, I see 3D printers being the next appliance in every household. Because how many times have you found yourself where you're like, oh man, I wish I had a hook to hang my keys, or I wish I had a piece of plastic to do this thing, or like my buddy Chuck, he was going to go to Dollarama and buy a fork and knife and spoon set for his camper. And then he's like, why don't I just print them? So he went and downloaded a spork set from Thingiverse and just printed off like 20 forks or sporks to bring to his trailer to use as his trailer. Freaking brilliant. Like, 3D printers are going to be something that everybody's going to have in their house. My only concern is, right now, things on Thingiverse, 90% of it's free. Some of them ask for donations before you download, or if you use a commercial that you advertise where you got the idea from. I could see where if you have a 3D printer and you wanted something, you would have to pay for it still. So you'd basically go on the internet and you'd pay for the item, and then you have unlimited use for it. I could see that becoming a commodity if everybody had a 3D printer in their house, if it became a household appliance that everybody would need, like a stove or running water. I know a lot of people don't have running water in their houses. Let it go. But in the end, you know what it is. It's just people wanting to make money off things that should be free, and they shouldn't be doing that, but it is what it is. So can't really fight it, right? Can't really fight it. But no, I played with Google SketchUp, I think it's called, or SketchUp. I don't think it's by Google. And that one there was interesting, but like my buddy told me, he's like, listen, if you want to get serious, start learning Fusion. So I'm going to go look up some tutorials on YouTube and probably play with that concept tonight. See if I can create anything really cool in there. Just get the idea down to a science, because apparently you can just set up your entire item and then you drag it into your bed software, place it where you want, create the 3D printable templates, send them over to an SD card, pop them into the printer and hit go, and then it prints off your thing. And then once you have it in the SD card for the printer, let's say I make a crankbait. Okay, cool. Then I print it off. I really like it. I go out fishing, snag it on a rock, break off, lose it. I can just come home and print another one. Or I can just print a bunch and bring a bunch with me in case I tend to break off a lot. I have yet to lose a crankbait out. Oh, no, I shouldn't say that. I lost that really good jerkbait last year. The one that I paid a lot of money for. That's the problem with fishing, though. No, I had a really nice friggin' Rapala jerkbait that I had out there, and I lost it. No, that was that Weston one. Yeah, and I lost it. Caught it on a rock. Game over. Tried to free it up. Tried everything possible, and the line snapped. Son of a bitch. And something else I really need to do is I got that retractable upstairs. Yes, guys, we are going to do a video dedicated to that to see how well it holds up. Could be a shorty, could be a longie. I couldn't even tell you. I couldn't even freaking tell you. It's probably going to be, I'm hoping for a good video, because I saw a lot of videos on that retractable friggin' bait caster. People were catching catfish on it. People were catching drum on it, like sheep's head. And the ones around here are pretty big, and they caught some pretty doozies on it. And the rod was flexing, but she didn't snap. So I guess we'll have to wait and see, because that'd be kind of a cool rod to rig up with a little micro tackle box and just leave it in the truck. Because if I'm ever at a body of water, it'd be kind of cool to be like, hey, I wonder if there's fish in there. Grab that thing, hook it up to something, put a jerkbait on it, or bring some extra different types of tackle with me, sail it out and see if something bites. Just to see if something bites, not to eat it. Just to see if I can catch stuff, And this summer, if I ever get around to putting a cap on the truck, and we do some truck camping. Might head up some bodies of water up north or out east or something, and or out west. Yeah, west. Out west or something, and just friggin' hammer down. Just send it out and camp the night. If we catch a fish, we do a catch, clean, cook at the site, and it could be kind of a fun video. I think so anyway. Like, the weather is starting to clear up. We're already 3/4 of the way through March. We're going to be into April soon. This snow is going to be gone. I remember last year at the end of April, not last year, in 2018, end of April, I was clearing out all the 2019. I can't even get my dates right. 2019, end of April, I was clearing out all that raspberry bush. You know what's going to happen this year? I'm going to get that tiller working, and we're going to till that area. We're going to kill off all the roots underneath. It's going to be awesome. I'm actually thinking about going out and buying a bunch of borax and laying that down on there and tilling it into the soil to completely murder everything. Make it super dead. And then retilling it afterwards, after a couple washouts, and then laying down some grass there to make my lawn extra wide, because that would be pretty awesome. Because I would like to gradually put like a shed there or something, especially if I get the ATV. I was thinking about buying one of those 6x6 tarp sheds and hide the ATV in there during the summer. When I need it, just go grab it and drive it out, and when I don't need it, just park it back in there, because there's no room in the garage, and I just don't want to leave it out in the elements, because that's how shit gets stolen, especially around here. So yeah, so I haven't purchased the 3D printer yet. I'm actually waiting till next pay, because I had a lot of bills that I had to cover up and catch up on this pay. So I did that, and everything's all taken care of there in the bill department. So we're ready to rock. Next pay, I'm thinking I'm going to order it up. Now I was going to order it off of Amazon, but lately everything I've ordered, I ordered a couple extra items for personal use when I got that Amazon basic bar, the handlebar thing, which is somewhere over there on the ground. And all I got was the Amazon basic bar. The other two stuff never came in, and I'm kind of pissed off. I went on a chat last night, talked to some rep, and I told him, I said, yeah, both these items were deemed lost by Canada Post, so I don't know what the hell's going on. And they said, okay, well, we're going to go ahead and issue you a refund. They're like, oh, this barely ever happens with Amazon. And I'm like, no, it happens all the friggin' time. And the reason why is because the order is through Amazon, but it's not fulfilled by Amazon. It's fulfilled by a third party. So they cock over the program, you don't get your shit. So I got the refund from it, and I was looking at the Ender Pro on there, and it's Amazon with a Prime free shipping. However, they also have fulfilled by, and it's some company. So I'm like, yeah, you know what? I don't really want to drop $400 on a 3D printer just to have it lost in transmission. I'd rather, and one of my coworkers mentioned, he's like, I buy all my filament out of Hamilton from this shop here. And he gave me the shop name. So I was like, oh, okay. And I looked on there, and the price is the same as friggin' Amazon. And he said he has yet to have a shipment not arrive. He said, they're so good. He'll order it on Monday, and Wednesday morning, it's at his house. And I was like, perfect. Because he orders all of his PLA filament off of them. So that, and he told me, he's like, listen, when you buy the printer, he goes, order filament. He goes, it comes with a starter pack, but it's like the starter pack of ink you get when you buy a printer. Literally good for like maybe 200 printouts, and it's gone. He said the starter filament they give you, he's like, you'll be able to print the demo boat, which apparently everybody prints when they first get the 3D printer. I want to be above that. I don't want to print that. I want to print something else just to be different. Then you might be able to get one minor print out of it, and you're out of filament, and you're waiting until your order comes in for filament. He said, do yourself a solid, order the printer, and order a spool or two of filament. He's like, Adam, once you get printing, you're not going to want to stop. You're going to want to print up a whole bunch of junk that you don't need, and you're going to end up collecting a bunch of 3D printable crap. And I'm like, sweet. That sounds like a good time. Can't freaking wait. But like I said, I really need to learn how to use Fusion. Apparently you can use Blender as well, but Fusion is free. Blender, I think you have to pay for. SketchUp apparently is also free. Well, it is the web version. If you want the pro version, there is a license cost, but I like free because, like I said, I'm not doing this commercially. If I do get into a commercial application where I'm actually producing baits and stuff and I'm making good money selling them, then yeah, for sure, I'll pay for the software and go full pro. But worst case, what I'll probably end up doing is if I make a mold that actually is really good, I might contact a guy and get it done in aluminum, CNC'd aluminum. And that way there it's more resistant to thermals, and I don't have to worry about reprinting after the PLA loses its molecular bond due to thermals. So this is basically where I'm at right now on the whole ideas and stuff. But like for personal use, if I shoot like 20 Senkos and then go out fishing and burn through them all in a day, you know what? 2 runs of Senko is not a big deal. 3 runs of Senko is not a big deal. The one video I watched of Buddy who printed his own mold, he literally ran like 6 runs through it and the mold was still in good condition. So if you heat to 320, I've seen people shoot at 320 and it comes out fine. So I don't need to heat to 350. You can heat it to 320 and it'll work. If you're laminating, yeah, 350. You'll need that. You'll need that extra heat so that you get the bond from the laminated surface, or if you're doing top pours, but top pours vent easily. So I don't know, I got a whole bunch of ideas for different baits I'm going to try and make. I'm really excited. It's going to be a fun summer this summer. Between camping, fishing, Nicky time, all that stuff. It's going to be a good summer, and it should create some interesting videos. Like I said, the daily videos, they may come to an end, especially going back to the office in 2 weeks. So we'll have to see how that plays out, because not this week, but next week, that's my last week working from home, and then I'm back in the office full time, and I don't mind, because honestly, you get kind of annoyed when you're working where you're living. Some people probably don't feel it, but I 100% most certainly do, and it's going to be a good change of pace to be out of here. And then sometime in May, they call it the tech lounge. It's basically where clients working in the office building who are having computer troubles, they can just bring their computer down and see you face to face, and we can fix it. And as of today, I don't know about Canada, but I know in Ontario, you no longer need to wear a mask, which I find funny because, what was it, like a month and a half ago, they were adamant about masks and vax. And now they're like, you don't need to wear a mask to go into a store, and you also do not need to have proof of vaccination anymore. So what's that all about? Why did that all of a sudden just go away? They're all gung-ho for it, and now they're just dropping it. So it makes me question how the storyline is going to progress. Like, the people who got the vax, are they the ones who are in trouble? Or is the people who didn't get the vax, are they the ones in trouble? Or did they realize that the coronavirus is no more lethal than the flu? What are they not telling us? I'd love to know. I'm pretty sure you guys would too. I'm honestly going to miss wearing the masks, because it's really fun when you're wearing this camo mask with this camo hat and these camo sunglasses, and in the winter with this real tree camo coat, because you honestly look like a walking tree going through the parking lot, and people really look at you. And it's fun. But I guess I got to show my face in public again, so son of a bitch. It's been a good 2 years. It's been a good 2 years. Now I have no use for my masks. You never know. Things could pick back up. Things could do a 360. We'll find out, right? We'll find out. We'll see what happens. Have to wait and see, man. You never freaking know. You never freaking know. But anyway, guys, I just thought I'd give you a little bit of an update on what's going on in my life. Definitely going to go ahead with the bait shop. We got a lot of garage cleanup to do. It's a freaking mess out there. Even after we get the Trans Am out, put the ice fishing shit away, the back shed's a mess. Everything's a mess. Yeah. Something else I'd like to do this year is buy a new lawnmower, because that one there, it might be okay for another year, but man, she sounds rough when running, and I'm pretty sure the shaft on the bottom is bent. So I'm thinking about going for a full electric experience, one of those battery operated ergomos or something like that, just to basically not have to deal with oil changes and gasoline. My buddy has one. He loves it. He says it's amazing. It's light and it gets the job done, and it doesn't frig around. And it's just perfect, because you don't have to worry about, oh no, I ran out of gas in my jerry can. Now I got to go to the store and pay like $30 to fill it, because gas is still stupid expensive around here. Go Team Gas. But you know, it is what it is. So I was looking at a kit actually from Canadian Tire, from Yardworks. You get the mower and the weed whacker, because I hate my gas-powered weed whackers. They don't work, and I don't feel like replacing the carb on them just to have them gum up again. Not worth the time or effort. because they're non-serviceable carbs. They're literally friggin' riveted shut. So you'd have to bust them open, clean them up, and then re-rivet them. And I don't have rivets to fit that. I don't even want to deal with it. So just going to scrap those gassers and get an electric jobby that runs on the battery, and that'll solve my problem for around the house, especially with the stairwell here with the friggin' grass that grows through concrete, because it's probably part Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. I don't know, but we'll figure that out later. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video. If you did, click that like button. Any questions, comments, concerns, down below they go. And until next time, guys, live it to win it. Peace the frig out. Sit, stupid, sit. Good dog.